Welcome back, YouTube. It's Jay Roebuck, and I have a video today breaking down two people who are going through similar moments. They're both on an epic crash out run. I'm going to talk about Young Thug and Dame Dash, and I think that both of their crash outs are due to the same reason, and their actions are kind of aligning. So I'm going to break down why I think that is. But before I go into any detail, I want to shout out all the members of the channel. I want to shout out everyone who has liked, commented, or subscribed to any of the videos. I appreciate you. Let's continue to build the channel. Make sure you share it with someone. Merch is available right now, so make sure you get your t-shirt. They'll be to you very, very quickly. I promise. Now, I won't hold you any longer. Dame Dash, Young Thug, let's get into it. Now, what I see Dame Dash and Young Thug going through are what I call reverting or regression back to their old ways rather than progressing and showing growth. They are both leaning into the image of who they used to be, not who they are or who they could become. And because of those things, I see them both suffering. So we're going to start with Young Thug here, and we have to start with who he once was. Now, Young Thug's peak is about 2018 to 2021. He had a #1 album. He became the head of his own label, YSL Records. He shined a light on Gunna and Lil Baby, two premier artists out of Atlanta. He had a poppin' clothing line with Spider. He won a Grammy. Young Thug was universally recognized as a creative musician who pushed the genre forward. Now, at his start, there was a lot of controversy around the way he dressed, the way he talked, the gang life and the street life from which he came. But he was able to break out of that mold and really become a household name when it comes to American rappers. But all of that changed when he got the indictment with YSL and he served all of that time in jail. And during that time in jail, he began speaking out. He called Gunna his collaborator and friend a rat. His jail calls were leaked where he spoke about many people in the industry, people who he considered family and friends, both male and female. He came home, he continued to press that issue, and we didn't see much growth from him. But then he did an interview, and this interview changed the way that we all looked at him, because in that interview, he showed a comedic, more human side of himself that didn't seem like just a celebrity who was stuck in a street life. He became personable, and he became a meme, and people laughed with him and at him.
They do. Get up. Chin up. Fuck that, nigga. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop they do.
And at that moment, we started to view him differently. The music leaked. Some singles leaked. The video leaked. And all things were trending in the right direction. But then Young Thug regressed and he went back to his old ways. Let's look at some recent moves. The first thing he went back to is internet banging. Now, I'm not going to say that this was serious. I think this is just marketing, which I'll get into in a minute. But in this Instagram caption, he disses YFN Lucci. Now, I'm aware that there's a possibility they may be dropping a song together to really squash the beef. We've seen Lucci in the studio with Baby, so I think things are trending in the right direction. But this is what Thug used to do. If you remember, he beefed with Game on the internet. Right? They were on Instagram Live. They were on Snapchat dissing each other. That is old Thug behavior, and he's right back to it. This is reverting back to your old ways. Look at the Instagram caption where he begged people in the industry to pick up the phone call and started naming the things that they had done for him. Again, putting things on Instagram that could be handled elsewhere. Regressing back to your old ways. What else has he done? When Young Thug came out, one of the main reasons why he was such a hot topic was because of the controversy over the way he dressed. Look at his latest Instagram picture. Does it remind you of who he used to be or how he once tried to gain traction in the game? He's going back to old marketing tactics, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Now, one strategy he could pick up is what Gunna did, but I don't think he'll do that. Gunna decided to focus on growth and health, both mentally and physically. Two things that I think Young Thug would benefit from. If you watch his interview, you could see that he was hurting and he was in pain. He said himself, I'm not the same. I don't have any friends. I don't have any family. Him and Mariah were beefing and she was the one who held him down for his whole bid. He's telling you right there that he needs serious help. But is he seeking it? Can we see it? Are we on the journey with him? So my advice to Young Thug is, instead of reverting back or regressing back to who you used to be for attention and to drive album sales, show us your growth and the people will organically support it. Again, look at what Gunna did. But I don't think we're going to see him do that because that's the path that someone who he doesn't talk to anymore took. But a level of maturity that he has to get to must be, it doesn't matter what other people do around me. I have to do what's best for my family and for myself. And I think he does want to do that, but I think he's struggling to get there. And that's why I gave the suggestion of therapy. And on the flip side, we have Dame Dash. And this hurts me because he's from Harlem. He's from the East Side. And whenever I have to discuss this, it pains me because I always want to see Harlem win. Dame at his peak is a founder of Rockefeller Records. He's the head of Rockaware, the hottest clothing line that was connected to hip hop. He had a net worth of over $50 million, mansions all over the world. All the women that you can name of, Dame dated. He was the head of Rockefeller, right? And when we talk about spotting talent, that was Dame's biggest thing. Whether it was Kanye West, Cameron, Freeway, Beanie Siegel, Jim Jones, you name it. Dame is a guy who spotted that talent and put them in a position to win. And you don't have to take my word for it. All of these people have said it themselves. But what Dame Dash is failing to do is grow. Because he's still talking to you and I, he's still talking to the people interviewing him like he is the guy from that many years ago. And unfortunately, he's not. He has fallen from grace, but he hasn't done it gracefully because he's still crashing out. You see, Dame Dash went into the Breakfast Club and he spoke to them as if he was the Dame from 20 years ago. Let's look at some footage of how Dame used to talk to people.
Now, we're going to reschedule, man.
What the fuck you mean you're gonna reschedule?
We're going to reschedule, man.
What you mean you're gonna reschedule? You get the fuck out.
Do you see the way that he was berating them? The way that he spoke to them? The way that he acted in the room? Now, if he was upset, rightfully so. Handle your business. But speaking to people in that way is just a little off, right? You're never going to get respect when you treat people like that. But people sat there and they actually listened for a good minute before anyone came in and interrupted. That will not fly in 2025. He couldn't go into the Breakfast Club and even speak with half of that bravado and think that Charlemagne or DJ Envy or anyone else was going to sit there and listen to it because his name does not command the same respect that it once did. Because he's reverting, he is regressing back to the man who he still believes he is. Now, on the inside, he may feel that way, but he doesn't present to the outside world like that because nothing has worked in his favor in the last 15 to 20 years. All those relationships have been severed. Even the people he put on don't deal with him anymore. All the eye for talent is gone. Look at the artists who he just tried to debut and they were dissing 50 Cent and Cam. It's terrible because the talent isn't there. I think it could come back, but it can't come back until we see growth. You see, he's so stuck in the mentality of this is what a man is, this is what a businessman is. But the way that he's moving is not a depiction of that. He contradicts himself every other second. And it's sad to see because he's a legend and he should be respected as such, but people can't respect someone who doesn't give respect. And that's why it's so sad. So now Young Thug and Dame Dash are both going back to old ways in order to garner attention, to drive sales, and in order to bring success. Two different ways, but it's the same action which is actually bringing them down. But I think Dame can grow, right? The first thing he has to do is acknowledge his behavior and grow up. Will people forgive him? I don't think Jay-Z will. I don't think that relationship's ever going to come back. They've been enemies longer than they were friends. That Rockefeller run was much shorter than his run where they've been apart. Cameron has said he's past the point of return where they can mend things up. But the best that he can do is be a man, apologize, and try to get on that phone. Because who would invest with him? Who would make them head of a company when they can't trust his public-facing image? This is exactly why Rockefeller split. So both Young Thug and Dame Dash have to do the soul searching and the growth to get back into that spotlight. Now, Thug is much closer than Dame is because Thug can repair a lot of these relationships. Thug has something to blame. He went to jail. Dame didn't go to jail. Dame's mind was stuck, but not the body. So this is a little bit of psychology. This is a little bit of analysis from what I see from both of these individuals, and I hope that they can get back to their prime. It's going to be a lot tougher for Dame Dash, but I think with the right steps, he can grow. So I hope you liked the video. This is just a quick hitter, and I had to touch on the topic because watching this has been pretty painful for me because you want to see people win. You want to see people shine. But if they're doing things that go against them, what can we do but just watch? Some people laugh. I think it's sad. I wouldn't laugh at this situation. Some of it is comedic, but I'm more concerned than anything else. So if you like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody. We'll have some more stuff coming this week, and hopefully we can go live soon. And again, thank you all for being here, and I appreciate your support.